Testing, testing. Did somebody say testing? I am testing up in this bitch like you would never believe. Never, ever, ever. Testing, testing. Oh, yeah. Did somebody say testing? I am testing. I'm doing all the testings. You guys wouldn't believe the amount of testing I'm doing. You thought these streams were late before? Wait until you get the 6 a.m. stream. Woo! Because that's kind of who I am. I stay up late, I do dumb shit, and I have fun. But these are more for the people who will see them in the morning, or the next day, or the next day. Maybe. People are actually watching. Who knows anymore? Who knows? All I know is, I'm having fun. Are you having fun? I'm having fun. Notebook in hand, and we are ready to go. Make it alive in 5 and a 4 and a 3, 2, and 1. Hello everybody, and welcome to the Week 14 live stream, or post-recording, depending on when you see this, of the 2025 NFL season, and my prediction picks. I'm your host, the one and only, The Cat, or as my friends like to call me, that bitch, because I am that bitch. And welcome to more football talk. And sports in general. Who doesn't love sports? Sports are a very good distraction from things in the outside world. And boy, do I need a distraction. Because if you don't know, certain things have been going down, and it has not been fun. No. Not for any of us. It's all gone to shit. So let's take this distraction to enjoy some football, or, at the time of this recording, last night was some basketball. I love living in Cleveland. I got to go to the Cavs and Blazers game, which shout out to Portland for pulling off that upset on the road after losing to Toronto of all teams. But good job to going into Cleveland, winning that game convincingly. And also winning my first parlay in a long while. My first relatively bigger parlay. That makes that now, by the way, 6-0 in games that I've attended where the total has gone under. All 6 games, 4 NFL games, an NBA game, and a WNBA game. 6-0 on unders. Bet the goddamn under when I'm in attendance. But yes, a lot of fun last night. And let's go recap all of last week. For those who knew, I started out the week 0-4 on those regular season games. I missed all 3 Thanksgiving games, and I missed the Black Friday game. But luckily, I turned it around, rounding out my total season, or my total week, at 10-6, going a crisp 8-2 in the final 10, or what was that? Yeah, 10-2. Excuse me, 10-2 in the final 12 games, Sunday and Monday. Damn you Rams, damn you Falcons. NFC South ruining my life since, I don't know, always. But that makes me 10-6 straight up, 7-9 against the spread, and 9-7 on the totals, bringing me to a grand total of 121, 72, and 1 straight up, 91, 102, and 1 against the spread, and a clean 100-94 on the over-unders. Right where you want to be, close to 50 games above in the straight-up picks, and hovering around 50%, or a little under, a little over, on the spread and totals, which is where we like to be. It's our little happy space, little happy spot right in there. So with that, the final set of bye weeks, which, as a side note, I think they're dumb to be here. Why are the bye weeks right here? You're supposed to have them before. If you want to really have everyone play Thanksgiving, then just have all the bye weeks done before that. There's no reason you couldn't do, like, multiple 6 buys, or 16 buys, or 18 buys, or shit like that. Hell, if you're going to bring them that 18th week, and you want to do 2 buys, I hope you plan your buys a lot better. But alas, I am just an individual, who yaps in front of a camera and my microphone. My beautiful microphone. You can't see it. There it is. My beautiful microphone right here. Mwahahaha. And with that, let us get into these picks. As you see, nothing's written, nothing's guaranteed. So we go off vibes, we go off passion. Starting with the Thursday night game, we have Dallas heading to Detroit, taking on the Lions. Lions 3-point favorite home, and a total all the way up to a very high 54.5 points. Now, safe to say, Detroit's kind of backpedaling a little bit, and Dallas is trying to revive their season. Both teams who look relatively impressive overall, considering everything the last couple of weeks and months, but both currently on the outside of the playoff picture looking in. That is how tight the NFC is. 7-4 Detroit, looking on the outside. These playoffs are really setting up for a lot of high highs and a lot of low lows. A lot of high power teams, a lot of good teams are going to miss the playoffs this year. And this is not like meddling teams, average teams. Like, there are going to be a handful of good, legitimately good teams that will miss the playoffs this year. And before anyone says anything about divisions, I love divisions. I think they work. I think they make sense. It makes divisional games matter. Rivalries matter. Something that the NBA doesn't know. Something that college football has lost the plot on altogether. Everything in between. But yes. But Detroit, it is looking very likely that Amon-Ra St. Brown will not play this game. I think there was talks of Khalif Raymond not being able to return. Sam Laporta's not going to be here. Detroit's going to be down a couple pieces. They tried to unretire Frank Ragnow to come back to the O-line, but turns out he couldn't pass his physical because he had a grade 3, hamstring? Or like a sprain or hamstring sprain or some shit like that. Which I'm pretty sure if it's a grade 3 is kind of a big deal. I don't know how you don't notice that. But it's not my business. But just to throw perspective on things, I don't really know where Detroit is. Like they've seemed to have fallen off. Dan Campbell's getting way too aggressive. Like, listen, Dan, we all love the fourth down so much as the next person, but now that you've done it, everyone does it, so it's lost its pizzazz. And now, when you miss a bunch, it makes you look like an idiot. Calling it what it is. Analytics have made things less entertaining. I've said it. I'll say it. Kick the damn field goal, punt the ball, play field position, read the clock, read the scoreboard. It is what it is. I'm also just not going to talk on Thanksgiving referee ball looking a lot worse. I mean, again, every team that lost deserved to lose on Thanksgiving, but the ref ball was very suspicious. I don't know. At the end of the day, I think things can go either way. I think 3-point at home, calling this pretty much a neutral game. I think it works. But I think with all the injuries Detroit has and just this kind of weird backpedaling they're in, I think Dallas right now might be the better team. Or at least has the more consistent offense. And for that, and Thursday that doesn't matter because they both played Thanksgiving, so they both had 7 days rest. Give me Dallas in this game, in all honesty. I kind of like the Cowboys where they're at. It is a road game, but full week of rest. They're a bit healthier. Dak, CD, George, they're all clicking. I think it just makes sense. The defense has stepped up a little bit. It's not perfect, but it's making strides, making steps. So yeah, give me Dallas to go into Detroit and win that game. I like Dallas, so give me the +3. You can go either way. I don't think there's a wrong answer here. I mean, there will be one in about 16 hours, but for now, I like Dallas here. Give me Dallas. Total in the game is at 54.5. Now, I very, very, very much believe that both teams can do this. But for the sole purpose of it being that high, I don't like it that much. So I'm going to take the under. I just think it's a really big number for two teams who are of equal strength and competitiveness. But Detroit, unfortunately, is missing pieces. Little too much. Give me Dallas. Give me the win. Give me the under. Next game we have, no one cares about. But unless you're Miami. Miami goes to New York to take on the Jets. Dolphins are 3-point favorites on the road. Total to 41.5. Now, I don't think anyone is legitimately considering Miami still alive in this. Although you could say they technically are. They're what, 5-7, and right now it's all the wild card teams are at 8 wins, so they're 3 back with 5 to go. And I mean, it's gonna be tricky. It absolutely is gonna be tricky. They would need a lot of things to go their way, but I think it's gonna be too little, too late. But hey, Miami's feeling good. They have some pride to play for. Maybe some jobs to save, even though it's probably not going to happen, but they're going to think they can save the jobs. New York, good win against Atlanta. Always love Tyrod, always will root for him. But that just tells me more about Atlanta, honestly. And yeah, that's just really how I'm going to look at it. Miami's a better team, and Miami's dumb, so they're going to keep fucking up their tank. New York is going to want their tank, so I'm going to take Miami to win. 3 points is easy. Give it a 3, even though I wouldn't be surprised if this was a 2-point or 1-point game. Just given the vibes of both Miami and New York. That's just how they are. But yeah, I think Miami should win this game. They are the better team. Sterling game at 41.5. Miami struggled to score against the Saints. Division game. I'm not going to put too much into it. Give me the under here. Miami to win, cover -3. Give me go under 41.5. Next game we have Seattle going to Atlanta. Seattle are 7-point favorites on the road, and the total's at 44.5. Atlanta is bad. They've been bad all year, and now with Kirk in the lineup, they are worse. They are not just bad; they are worse. So no matter how you want to look at this game, I am not thinking twice. I like Seattle. Seattle should win this game with relative ease. I mean, I don't know if old Kirk Cousins is better or worse than Max Brosmer, as we saw last week, but I feel like we could argue that it's a conversation on who's better and who's worse. 7 points, a lot on a road game, but again, Seattle, if nothing else, Seattle's defense is phenomenal. I got to imagine Sam Darnold and JSN and all them are like, okay, our offense has been in this weird blah lately. We need to figure this shit out. So maybe they'll try to reestablish themselves. I like -7 either way. I think Atlanta is kind of nothing. Total at 44.5. I like the under because I am not betting on Atlanta to do much of anything. Like I said, I don't really care for Atlanta. So Seahawks win, cover -7, give me under 44.5. This could very well be another like 26-3. I'll be generous and give Atlanta a field goal or two. 33-10. I don't see this being a very competitive game at all. Unless Seattle just decides to not show up offensively in the first half. But yeah, I think Seattle, bare minimum, defense will shut down Atlanta. Next thing we have the Saints in Tampa taking on the Bucks. Bucks are a whopping 8.5-point favorites, and the total's at 42.5. Now everything in my mind tells me I should just lay these points and not think twice about it. But Tampa Bay kind of has a history of, there are 2 games against the Saints. One, it's a blowout. The other one, especially in Tampa for some reason, it's weirdly competitive. It's weirdly a battle. I mean, I'm going to take Tampa because the Saints are just bad, really bad. And at this point, want a top 3 draft pick. But is Tampa healthy enough that they can, really justify laying 8.5? Are they healthy enough? I mean, they struggled in New Orleans last time they played. I mean, Bucky's back, so that should relieve some of the stress, some of the pain. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna let New Orleans lay that 8.5. I think it's just high. Tampa's dealing with weird funks and injuries. Hell, this might be a Jacoby thing, but they let Arizona hang around, and they even had a chance to win the game in the end. But yeah, I think Tampa is just a bit banged up, trying to navigate, trying to manage here. They don't want to do too much. So give me them in the win. Total's at 42.5. I'm going under. This is me going, I don't think Tampa's going to score much. Imagine like a 23-17 type game. 20 to, I don't know, 14. I don't think Tampa's going to do much. I don't think they need to do much, but it is what it is. Tampa to win. New Orleans covers 8.5. Give me the under. Next game we have the Commanders in Minnesota taking on the Vikings. The Vikings, despite looking the way they did, are 1.5 point favorites at home, and the total's at 42.5. I have not heard any news about any quarterback going on with Minnesota. So I don't know if JJ's back. I don't know if they're going to give Max Brosmer another go. I know they cut Desmond Ritter from either their team or the practice squad. You know how you gotta be to watch JJ play? To watch Brosmer play. And then Desmond Ritter still can't make the roster. That's tough. So yeah. And after last night, after watching Washington play against Denver, I don't care if it's Mariota or James starting. I'm taking DC to win this game. Give me DC, and I'll take the +1.5. Why not? Why not? I don't know where anyone is seen anywhere where Minnesota's supposed to win here at this point. Defense maybe makes some noise, maybe makes things easier, but I don't see it. Total at 42.5. I'm doing the thing again where I'm taking a bunch of unders. I'm going to do the same thing here. Give me the under. What is Minnesota's offense going to look like? Apparently, there are quarterbacks that exist that make Justin Jefferson irrelevant. So, what offense am I getting from Minnesota? I know their defense is decent. And I know Washington's not going to have some high-powered offense like crazy. But what am I going to get from Minnesota? Genuinely. Probably not a damn thing. So, yeah. Give me DC on the upset and 42.5. Keep me under. Next game, we have the Colts in Jacksonville taking on the Jags. Indy is a 1.5 favorite on the road, and the total at 47.5. Now, this game could be exciting. The Jaguars are a team that nobody knows what the fuck to believe in with them, and Indy is a team that started off really, really, really hot and has very much faded. Now, could that be because of injuries? Daniel Jones has apparently a cracked fibula. So how the fuck is he playing? If he's got broken bones in his leg, who knows? None of us know, but it is what it is. Jacksonville is the most confusing team. Actually, I don't know who is more confusing, Jacksonville or Carolina. Jacksonville can go beat Kansas City, but then just lays a dud against some of these other teams. Carolina can go beat the Rams, but then plays a dud against these other teams. I don't get it. None of it makes sense. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to play on to more superstitions. I don't have the statistics on me, but you can look this up because I know it's pretty big. The Colts have not won in Jacksonville in a very long time. And it's almost superstitious to the point. Remember a couple of years back when Carson Wentz was on the Colts and he could have led them to a playoff spot with a win against a 2-win Jags team? And then they messed that up and lost that game? And there's been a couple other times too. So yeah. Colts have not won in Jacksonville in a very long time. So for that reason alone, give me the Jags to win this game. Plus, I also think just Indy's on the downfall in general. And while I'm not going to say I trust Jacksonville, if it's a battle of trust and trust, give me superstition. It makes things interesting. So, yep, give me the Jags to pull off the home upset against their division rival Colts and get a firm grasp on the division lead with 4 games to go. Total in the game at 47.5. This will be the first one I take the over on. I think both teams still have a relatively good defense, but Jacksonville's offense can pop up. Indy's, Jonathan Taylor, and all of them can make noise. And again, this is a game with superstition and probably freaky shit happening. So you know what? Let's take this over. Let's imagine some fun, some high-powered offenses. ETN and Taylor both go for 150 scrimmage yards and 2+ touchdowns each. Let's get freaky with it. Jags win. Jags cover over 47.5. Next game on this list. Oh boy. Pittsburgh is in Baltimore to take on the Ravens. Ravens are 5.5 point favorites at home, and the total is at 43.5. I don't know which of these teams is a bigger mess, honestly. I don't. Baltimore had that 5 game win streak, but even then, if you were looking, it's like, you should be better than this. You should be better than this. And it just didn't look good. And then it came to a screeching halt where, yes, as a Ravens fan, I can argue semantics. Oh, if this doesn't have a completely different game, blah, blah, blah. But they just looked off. And they couldn't do anything. It was kind of shell shocking, honestly. Like, I took Cincy +7 because I figured it'd be an interesting game with Joe Burrow back. But what happened to the Ravens offense that they're turning the ball over 5 times against the Bengals? 5 times. It don't feel right. But Pittsburgh, they've just been kind of dying. They do the Pittsburgh thing where they start off hot and then just kind of fade out as the season comes to an end. And Aaron Rodgers is beaten to shit, so who knows how much he has left in him. It's just kind of a mess. It really is. And the thing is, like, one of these two teams should win the division, but Cincy, for somehow reason, it's not dead yet. Cincy's got a challenge this week, but if they can get out of that challenge, then the door is open. This door is very open. So both Pittsburgh and Baltimore need to figure shit out. Or they could watch their division slip to Cincy again, despite how that team looks. But all said and done, Baltimore's the home team. I'm going to pick the Ravens. I think their problems aren't as bad. I mean, we've been saying it for a year now. It's the guards. The guards are ass, Lamar has a bad habit, and I've said this many times. When he doesn't trust the team, he gets a little hero volley. He starts thinking, I got to do all these extraordinary things, and it bites him in the ass way more times than it doesn't. It really does. But then you also have Pittsburgh, where Lamar has a bad history of struggling against Pittsburgh. Has pretty much his entire career. They just kind of haven't figured out. So 5.5, that's too big for me. Give me Pittsburgh to cover +5.5. It's AFC North football. It's Ravens Steelers. It's going to be a close game. Totals at 43.5. We have one defense who is paid a ton of money, but half the time doesn't show up, and another defense who tries to play bend but don't break, but often breaks before they bend. So, and then Pittsburgh offense that sometimes doesn't show up ever, and a Ravens offense who can't stay consistent with that guard play. I'm going to take the under. I think this has shit show written all over it, and even if not, 23-20 just sounds like a very obvious score for this game. Very obvious. So yeah, Ravens to win. Pittsburgh covers 5.5. Give me the under in this game. Next one. Jeez, I can't wait to tell you guys about this one. Tennessee heads to Cleveland to take on the Browns. The Browns are 3.5-point favorites. And the total in this game, this might genuinely be the lowest total I've ever seen. I'd have to go look through old tweets and old videos, but this might be the lowest I've ever seen. The total in this game is at 33.5. That is insane. You're a kick stepping away. An 18-17 game takes this over. 17-17. A 17-17 tie would take this over. So this total is telling me that you don't expect either of these teams to score many points. Now, I can see on one aspect why. Tennessee's offense has yet to develop anything ever, and Cleveland has a top 5 defense. Their offense, we don't know how to feel. But Tennessee's defense, they exist, I guess. I don't know how much to an extent they exist, but they exist. But yeah, Tennessee's used to not having many real weapons. Cleveland likes to shoot themselves in the feet. And honestly, Stefanski's probably out the door because his play calling is going to get him fired. It looks bad. But this is a really weird game to call. It will be. You definitely get the feeling, though, that whoever wins this game, 99.9% of the talk is going to be about the quarterback class. Because these were supposed to be the two first QBs taken. But for whatever reason, people decided that Shedeur was not that guy. And I mean, 2 games in so far, we can't really even make that claim if they is or isn't. Has it done enough? Has it done a lot? But if there's a game for Shedeur to break out a little bit more, Vegas was a good one. But now you're at home against a Tennessee team, who is honestly just ready to become the team ready to get on the clock with the first overall pick. Maybe draft a receiver. Maybe draft somebody. Low-key Tennessee, if you do get the first overall pick, I wouldn't mind trading that back a little bit. Try to acquire a couple fourth-round picks. Hell, Cleveland's got 2 first-round picks. The Rams got 2 first-round picks. Maybe you see if you get those. But, short and sweet, give me the Browns. Mostly because I trust that defensive unit over everyone. 3.5, it's a bit pricey, but this is the Titans, and I've learned the Titans aren't worth getting anything to, so I'll take 3.5. Total in the game, Jesus, 33.5. I mean, even against the Raiders, Cleveland only scored, 24 points? And they gave up 10 to the Raiders? Are the Raiders just as good or as bad as Titans? Who knows? Who knows? Didn't the Raiders and Titans play it? I don't remember. I feel like they would have played. I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to look it up. Because the Raiders finished last in the division, right? So the Raiders should play them. Unless I'm dumb and stupid on purpose. But I do want to look it up. Yes, the Raiders did play the Titans. And the Raiders were better than the Titans. I forgot about that game completely. So crazy. The Raiders are 2-10. They're 2 wins of the Titans and the Week 1 Patriots. God bless football. But yeah, Raiders are better than Titans, so I'm expecting the same thing here. This just feels like they're going to steal my money, but fine. I'm taking the under. If the Raiders defense can keep Tennessee down just 10 points, then give me Cleveland's defense to essentially do the same. 20-10, 17-10, 14-10, something like that. Have your goddamn under. Next game on the list, we got Cincinnati heading to Buffalo to take on the Bills. Bills are 5.5-point favorites at home. And with our second highest total of the week, total set at 53.5 points. Good job, Cincinnati. Congratulations on the win. You are now, for the moment, very much alive in the division race. You're definitely too late to get into the wild card, but the AFC North is pretty much all those teams are division or bust. So what's going to happen? Buffalo, good win against Pittsburgh. But Buffalo's too goddamn inconsistent. It's infuriating. This is a game where Cincy wins, they're a live play for the division. But if Buffalo wins, then they're in good place to probably clinch the 5 seed or be in a good position. Buffalo, at this rate, will more than likely be the 5 seed in these playoffs, barring a collapse of some kind. But if Buffalo loses this game, then we're talking they're going to start falling off a little bit too. And again, with that crowded playoff picture, The Chargers are there. Colts, Jags, and Texans are all fighting. Chiefs are right there. Chargers are right there. It's going to be a bundled mess. It's going to be a genuine bundled mess here for these AFC wildcard teams. So every win matters. And I give Cincy all the credit, but I'm not buying that you're a good team. I'm not. Even with Burrow back, even with establishing that connection with Jamar Chase back, I am not buying you're a good team. I'm taking Buffalo at home to win this game. Handle their business. Keep it going. Spread's at 5.5. It feels a bit high because you wonder what Cincy's going to be like, but I'm going to take that. I can't imagine Buffalo wants to lose to Cincy with how much Burrow's embarrassed in the last couple times they played. But yeah, give me Buffalo, give me the 5.5. Total's at 53.5. Well, I don't doubt that it could get there. Again, this is just one of those. It feels too high. It feels too high. Give me the under on here. We're going under 53.5. Buffalo wins. They cover 5.5. Give me under 53.5. Next game we have Denver into Vegas. Denver's a 7.5 point favorite on the road, and total's at 40.5. I don't care. Vegas is super doo-doo awful trash, and they will lose every game ever. That said, Denver, even against doo-doo trash ass balls, doesn't know how to cover spreads. So just because it's 7.5, give me the Raiders 7.5. Even at Denver, they only won by 3. So yeah, no, screw it. They put up a dud against Vegas in Vegas. Do not bet this game. Denver should win, but don't bet this game. Total at 40.5. I'm going to stay under. Even if Denver does blow them out, I don't know what to expect from the Raiders. Raiders are a bad team. And that's all they will be. Yeah. Broncos win. We'll give the Raiders cover because Denver plays down in competition. Under 40. Next thing we have Chicago in Green Bay taking on the Packers. Packers is a half-point favorite at home, and the total's at 44.5. Now Chicago. Right now, as we sit, the Bears have tiebreakers to be the 1 seed in the NFC. And it's intriguing. Since I'm still undecided whether or not they're a good team, I still don't know. That defense clearly forces a lot of turnovers. They clearly do, so ask the Eagles last year, turnovers win championships. So if Chicago can force some turnovers, and I mean, Jordan Love's no slouch to just throwing the ball up sometimes. But it's tricky. It is definitely tricky. But I think it's that biasism to not trusting in Chicago. I'm just calling it as is. I don't trust them. I think at this point they've earned their playoffs, but I think they will be in the playoffs. I just still feel like I can't trust them. So for that, give me Green Bay to win. But Chicago, you have earned my respects as a legitimate team, competitive team. I won't say contender, but as a competitive team that will be there and will make noise, I will give you plus 6.5. I think this is a close game, a competitive game, and the Packers just make enough plays near the end. Total at 44.5. We talked about Chicago. Turns over the ball a lot, so maybe short fields open up for Chicago. And their offense. Their run game looked fantastic against Philly, so I don't see why they can't keep running some more, even though, shout out Green Bay, they did shut down Jahmyr Gibbs. So they should be able to shut down Swift and Monangai. But I think this game's exciting enough. Give me the over on this one. Over 44.5. Packers win. Bears cover plus 6.5. Give me the over. Next game we have the Rams in Arizona taking on the Cardinals. Rams are 8.5 point favorites at home. And the total's at 40.5. Rams, you don't win every game. That's just the NFL. I'm not going to look too much into it. Carolina has lots of hot and cold streaks. It is what it is. I do think the Rams are still the best team in the NFC. I think they're better than Chicago. I think they're better than Philadelphia. I don't want to hear week 3. I just think they're the better team. So I'm not thinking twice. Arizona's just trying to get to the end of the year. Jacoby's just trying to look good enough so we can get a new contract elsewhere. Give me the Rams. Take care of business. On the line, it is 8.5. It is a little high, especially for divisional games. But I am not expecting Arizona to do much. I'm expecting the Rams to bounce back. And losing a game like that, you want to take out your frustrations. You want to play better. You want to be better. Blah 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 blah. I'm expecting the Rams offense to be a lot more clean, less turnovers, and just kind of cruise control through Arizona. Good offense, good defense. They'll figure it out. Total games at 48.5. I'll go over on this one too. It's not my most confident over, but again, this is just kind of how I see things. I think the Rams offense will show up. I think they'll show up early and often, score a lot of points. It'll be a wide margin at halftime and a third. But Jacoby Brissett has been very known to backdoor cover and to throw extra points in garbage time. Jacoby has been the king of garbage time this year. So I think he does enough to push us to the over. I think a 30-20 game is right there for the taking. 34-23, something like that. I think last-minute touchdowns from Jacoby and the Cardinals give us our over. If you want to take Arizona plus 8.5 for that reason, I would definitely see your vision. But I'm rolling with that. Rams win, Rams cover, give me the over. On to Sunday night. Houston is in Arrowhead to take on the Chiefs. Chiefs are 3.5-point favorites at home, and the total is at 41.5. Kansas City's in a very interesting spot, kind of like Buffalo was a few years back. 6-6, outside looking in. Yeah, basically need to go on a run, because we might get to a point where 10 wins might not be enough to get you in. So at 6-6, you need to lock in. Houston, same thing. They're sitting at 7-5. Now they have more of a play for their division than Kansas City does for theirs, but it's a 3-way race in that AFC South, so every win matters. Maybe you can get in play for the division. Kansas City, barring a collapse, is not going to be able to catch up for that division. This is one of them games. I'm looking at a lot of these games. Dallas, Detroit. I just brain farted. Indy, Jacks, Houston, Kansas City, and then Philly and LA on the Monday night game. There's a very good chance the losers of these games might be the ones out the playoffs. Pitt and Baltimore are going to come down to the final week. I'm not going to worry about that. I think Chicago, Green Bay, they'll be hanging around. They play again in 2 weeks, which is dumb. Yeah, but a lot of these games, Indy Jacks, they're going to play twice, but anything's possible. And I think if Indy loses especially, they're spiraling. So I'm just having a hard time seeing it. So this game matters. This game's important. But when you ask who it's more important to, I think if you squint enough, I think it's more important to KC. And again, maybe this is just now from what I've seen for the last 7 years. Yeah, 7 years. I just don't think I can see a world where the Chiefs are not in the playoffs. And because of that, I know how great Houston's defense is. I know how amazing they are. I think KC squeaks by just enough. Give me the Chiefs in this one. And if it was that 3, I would have laid the 3, but I see that hook, that 3.5 hook, because there are legitimate doubts. There are legitimate worries for this Kansas City team. But it's hard. You're so used to these Chiefs being a good team. Yeah, players aren't as good as you think. Some people misstep, blah, blah, blah. Mahomes, Andy Reid, Steve Spagnuolo, they figure it out. We've been used to them figuring it out. But I think Houston's very much live for this game. And if Houston can go in and win this game, it will send a message heavily. Yeah, give me Houston to cover 3.5. I think this game could go either way. And I think Houston's very much live for this. Total's at 41.5. I'm going to grab the under here. Houston's defense is very real. Casey, I like your offense, but it's going to be tricky for sure. And I don't know. I really should have turned off notifications for that server. Oh well. So yeah, Chiefs win, Texans cover, give me the under. And then the final game, Monday Night Football, Philadelphia goes into LA to take on the Chargers. The Eagles are 2.5-point favorites on the road, and the total's at 41.5. The big storyline in this one, Herbert's been dealing with an injury in his hand. And there's talks about him legitimately missing this game. I don't know. It's kind of up in the air right now. Philly's offense looks dreadful. And yet somehow, someway... Oh, I guess I can't really praise Philly's defense much anyway because they just got bowled over by the Bears' rushing attack. So who knows? Who knows? This game could go either way. And like I said, this game very much could knock one of these guys out of the playoffs if they're not ready. Chargers have a brutal schedule to end the year, so if they can't get this win, it's going to be really tough. Chargers have a legitimate chance of losing out. Absolutely. They have a legitimate chance to lose out. And that's mostly because of the O-line injuries. That's going to affect them. But there is a legitimate chance they could. Philly, it just feels like they're doing that collapse thing they did back in 2023. It feels like the same script. Super Bowl appearance, great start, and then end of season collapse. Super Bowl appearance, great start, and then end of season collapse. We feel like we're on repeat again. But at this point, even if Herbert does play, I think Philly's going to be a little more desperate. And I say desperate in the sense of they should have the division wrapped, but they've been playing way too loosey, and Dallas is right around the corner. Dallas is right there. So yeah, I'm going to give Philadelphia this win. I think they handle business. I think the Chargers, whether Herbert's there or if they end up having to start Trey Lance, I think Philly does enough to win this game. Give me Philly. 2.5-point spread. You gotta lay it. That's how it is. Total in this game is at 41.5. Again, this one's hard to tell because I don't know the status of Herbert. I don't know if he's gonna play or not. I think he's gonna try to play, but I just don't know. Philly's offense, is it going to be consistent? Are they going to show up? Who knows? Oh, who knows? I'm not going to trust it, so give me the under 41.5. I simply just don't trust the Philadelphia offense too much. Even if they start hot early, they're just going to not show up for the second half. Is what it is. And alright, that is all 14 games for week 4, or 14, excuse me. Let's go down one more time. Dallas pulling off the road upset in Detroit over the Lions, covering their +3 and going under 54.5. Miami pulling off the road victory and covering -3 against the New York Jets in a game that goes under 41.5. Seattle pulling off a road victory and covering -7 against the Falcons, game that goes under 44.5. Tampa Bay pulling off the home win, but New Orleans covering +8.5 in a game that stays under 42.5. The Commanders pulling off the upset on the road against the Vikings, covering +1.5 and a total that goes under 42.5. The Jaguars pulling off the home upset against the Colts, cover plus 1.5, and give me over 47.5 points. Baltimore wins at home, but Pittsburgh covers plus 5.5 in a game that goes under 43.5 points. The Cleveland Browns win at home, covering their minus 3.5 against the Tennessee Titans in a game that somehow goes under this low total of 33.5. Buffalo wins at home and takes care of business, covers minus 5.5 against the Bengals in a game that stays under 53.5. It might get to 50, but I think 53.5 is a little too much. I have Denver winning on the road, but Vegas covers plus 7.5 in a game that goes under 40.5 points. I have the Packers winning at home, but the Bears covering plus 6.5 in Lambeau Field in a game that goes over 44.5 points. I have the Rams winning on the road against the Cardinals, covers 8.5, and thanks to Jacoby backdoor covering totals and garbage time points, goes over 48.5 points. I have the Chiefs winning at home, but Houston covers 3.5. Makes it a very interesting 3-point game, more than likely. In a game that stays under 41.5. And then I have Philadelphia winning on the road and covering 2.5 against the Chargers in a game that stays under 41.5 points. Those are your Week 14 picks. We are making good time. I'll get this done under an hour. Yippee! Final notes. Check into fantasy. As it's already been stated, because I don't remember the last time I've done a fantasy update. League of Assholes, I've been eliminated. It's not going to matter. There's 2 more weeks left in that. I will note it is funny. 3 of the 8 teams have been eliminated, but technically none of the 5 teams who are left have clinched. We have a 9-3, or I'm trying to remember. Yeah, a 9-3 team, or 9-4 team. Excuse me, because that's 13 weeks. A 9-4 team, 3 8-5 teams, and then a 7-6 team. But the 7-6 team has more points scored on the season than the 9-4 team. So if the 9-4 loses out and the 7-6 wins out, they could usurp them, hypothetically. So 5 teams, 4 spots, anything's possible for certain. But you gotta win, because you're not guaranteed. And as far as the other leagues, this is probably the first week where across my 3 serious leagues that I mentioned here, and then the 2 fun leagues I do with Scarecrow and Crew, I've clean swept all of them 5-0, which now has put me in a position, in a position in both the Ante and Co. and the Professional Fantasy League, where I am winning in. I just gotta win my game this week, and I'm in the playoffs. I want to say in the professionals, if I remember correctly, tiebreakers should be interesting. I think even with the loss, I should be fine as long as one of the guys below me doesn't score like 100 more points than me. I think I have a 90-point lead on him as far as points scored. So as long as if I win, I'm fine. If I lose, just don't have my team put up a dud and cross my fingers that he doesn't blow the record books out of the number. But yeah, and then in the Ante and Co., it's kind of a jumbled bunch. There's a lot of us there in that. Don't do it, internet. Don't do it. There's a lot of us in that 7-6, 6-7 range. So there's a lot of us there, and wins and losses could be very intriguing. I think if I lose that one, there is a good chance I could be eliminated. But yeah, like I said, I win, I'm in, we move on. Both leagues winning in, losses, one won't probably hurt as much, but could hurt me a lot, and the other could very well end my season. But yes, in Ante and Co., we're playing Justin, who is in that big group. Like I said, there's a bunch of 6 and 7s and 7 and 6s. There's a group 2nd through 5th who's 8 and 5. So it's a very jumbled up mess in that 2nd through like 9th area, 9th or 10th, separated by like 2 or 3 games. And then in the pros, I'm against Tim, who currently sits at 3rd at 9-4 in the Professional Dynasty League. So, not going to be an easy test, but again, I have a little leniency as long as I don't remember who it was. But as long as this one person below me doesn't score, I'm just going to say 200 points. I think my roster can give me 110, 120 fairly well. I just need him not to score 200 in a win and be like 100 in a loss. That's what it comes down to realistically. But yeah, that is going to be all for that. Everything on my little board complete, all notes taken care of. And that is the week 4 picks right at 7 a.m. I'm going to bed because I'm tired. So I'm going to head out. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to like, rate, comment, and subscribe. I've been saying that even though I don't think there's really a rate anymore. If you're liking, you can't really rate it. I've been on YouTube too damn long. Make sure you follow me on my Twitter, CanadianCatCP, though hold your breath because a lot of drama's been going on, so I've just been in a weird space where maybe I try to stay back. But I have a Twitter active, so I can't really stay off it too long. Instagram, I'm barely there, but follow it anyway. I might post more pictures there. Fucking the rest of these accounts now, because I'm adding more. Tumblr exists. I'm trying to be there. Twitch exists, although I'm probably streaming more on through YouTube itself than Twitch, so who cares? Blue Sky exists. All too many accounts, too many usernames. All that shit will be linked in the description if I remember after the stream. And yeah, that's gonna be all for me. I want to go to bed. So from the CRP of the TVCC, choose peace, accept love, have big trust. Good night, everybody.